Good morning, guys. Welcome in the first session in second quarter today. In this quarter, inshallah, we're gonna pass through the life science, and we are gonna study the heredity. So heredity, it means the passing of traits from parents to offspring, and the science which study heredity called genetics. So in this quarter, we're gonna know more details about genetics and how traits passing from parents to offspring. So we're gonna start from zero, from the father of genetics, or the one who considered to be established to the science of genetics, Gregor Mendel. So that's our chapter 5, section 1, Mendel and his bees. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the relationship between traits and heredity, describe the experiments of Gregor Mendel, and finally explain the difference between dominant and recessive traits. So let's start first to know the biography, or to know who is Gregor Mendel. Actually, Gregor Mendel, born in 1822 in Heisendorf in Austria. So this one, okay, or the scientist, he was actually a great scientist. He has a PhD in statistics and PhD in botany. And so he was a botanist, the one who is caring about studying plants. And he tried to be a professor in Cambridge in that time, but actually he doesn't get or doesn't enroll in the staff of Cambridge. So he turned to be a monk, and he started to live in a church and start to make his own experiments about genetics or passing traits from parents to offspring. So Mendel discovered the main principles of heredity. The most important thing about Mendel is that he considered the first scientist who already made well-designed scientific experiments. Okay, so he just not just a kind of chance, or it's not kind of luck or something like this, or it was a random observation. No, it was very high specific designed scientific experiment. So here like this, so let's see what Mendel did. Okay, so we see that Mendel used the garden pea plants for his experiments. So he selected to use the pea plants. Why especially the pea plants? Because actually pea plants has a very good conditions, or very good characteristics, which enable him to be a good plant, or which make him a good plant for experimentation of heredity. First thing, that the plant is hermaphrodite, or the flower plant is hermaphrodite or bisexual. That means the flower of pea plant contain both female and the male organs on the same flower, which enable the plant, or which enable the flower to make self-pollination and the cross-pollination. So self-pollination, it means the male and female flower, which are already found, or the male or female organs which found in the same flower, could reproduce. Okay, and in this case, okay, the plant will share its own DNA only. Okay, so like this, that we call it self-pollination. So also here we find there are cross-pollination when the male organs in a flower gonna produce the pollen grain that transfer to the female organs of another flower, okay, on another plant. So here like this, we have a mixing of the DNA of two different plants. So here like this, we are gonna find when true breeding plants self-pollinates, all of the offspring will have the same traits as the parent. So what does it mean? So Mendel actually, once he got this, he selected certain plant with certain trait. For example, he selected a plant with the red flowers, okay, or purple flowers, okay, and he made this plant keep self-pollinating for many generations. Every time the plant keep producing the same color, no change in color, which means that this plant doesn't have any other forms of the gene except that color only. Okay, so it means the plant always will produce this color, so it's true breeding for that trait. For another example, he selects a tall plant and make this tall plant keep self-pollinating, self-pollinating every time it produces in each generation a tall plant, never get a short plant. So like this, it means this plant just carry the genes, or just carry the alleles of tall plant only, not the short. Okay, so like this, we call this kind of plants which just carry one form of gene through breeding or homozygous plant. Okay, so here like this, in cross-pollination, when the plant make a cross-pollination, as we can see here in the picture, the pollen grains, that's self-pollination when the pollens pass from the anther to the stigma in the same flower. But if the pollens will transfer from the anther to the stigma of another flower, okay, so we call this cross-pollination. So here we see that in cross-pollination, okay, pollens will fertilize the ovule of another flower, okay, on different plant. And like this, okay, we're gonna find that there are different traits could be appeared. So here, one of the characteristics or the traits or the features which is already observed by Mendel, that for example, the seed shape could be round and could be wrinkled. Okay, the height of the plant, sometimes plants are tall and sometimes are short. the flower color. Some plants are purple, some are white, and so on. So here like this, that is the first observation Mendel observed in the pea plant. So all these traits or all these characteristics make the pea plant to be selected. That first, the pea plant has short life cycle. Pea plant produce a lot of seeds. Pea plant, okay, is hermaphrodite or bisexual, which enable the cross pollination and self pollination. Plus that it has many allelomorphic traits, or the traits alternate between two forms. Like we said, the seed could be green or yellow. The seed could be wrinkled or round. We said that the height could be tall or short, and so on. So like this already, Mendel, after he discovered all these, after Mendel already selected the bee plant based on these characteristics, Mendel started to do a lot of experiments that really created the idea or created the main principles of genetics. Okay, so what Mendel did, or what are the experiments of Mendel, that which we're going to know in next session, inshallah.